I want to ask you, as a mom, was there any part of this that made you feel even more worried or concerned?
Not worried. I saw little parts of what they were describing in each of my children during the pandemic, but I feel like we all came through it together. I feel like we came through on the other side. It was interesting to have a room full of kids telling you the same thing, though, because usually I'm just one-on-one with one of my girls, and we talk about things, but to have the entire room affirming that, yes, I'm afraid when police stop me, or yes, I have mental health issues, or I know someone. That was really eye-opening.
I remember us, because we also talked about this right after the summit, and something that we both said was that it seems like for a lot of these kids, this might have been the first time they felt heard.
Yes. I feel like this generation is craving to be listened to. Like, they want face-to-face contact, they want to have conversations. And I felt like so much relief when they were done talking because they felt like they got a lot off their chest. Landon, he was so, he looked like he was not in shock, but I think he's very laid back, and it was refreshing to see how open he was to everyone's opinions and respectful. Nice young man.
I loved hearing his perspective as a student athlete because, especially in a state like Nebraska, that's such a sports state. We look at these kids as, they're winning these games, they're doing so well, and a lot of times
they think they have to be tough all the time.
Yeah, and when we think of athletes, we don't think of a lot of the mental health challenges that they have to deal with. And what honestly just had me almost tearing up was when he said that he wanted to be a shoulder for his male friends to cry on, and he wanted male athletes to be able to show that vulnerability. It's something that we've heard some professional athletes talk about this, but it's still, I think the concept of being vulnerable in sports is still something that's new to society.
I think for Landon, that's a very mature perspective.
Yeah. I also want to talk about Paige too, because him and Paige had that other student athlete perspective. She also said similar things where she felt like, from what I got from her, she felt like as a student athlete, it was frowned upon for her to talk openly about her mental health. I also want to ask you, with you have a daughter who is Gen Z, who is a college athlete. She swims for UNL. From what you've seen, how does the mental health kind of play a role with her?
With teenagers, you have to find activities that you can do side by side, where you're not staring them in the eye and asking questions, but you're doing something together. You're cooking, you're driving in the car, you're going to get smoothies, and then you have the conversations. It's not like, I'm going to sit down and grill you. You can't talk to kids like that. But when you spend time with them, time shows that you care, and then they slowly reveal the layers,
Something that Braylon, because we had two 13-year-olds, Braylon and Dallas, and they both talked about the bullying.
Bullying, I had no idea it was so bad. In the hallways, face to face.
Yeah.
I thought it was mostly on their phones, but it's not. It's face to face, it's in the lunchroom, it's on the playground. And what was most disconcerting is that they said that when they told an adult about it, nothing was done. So that bothers me, because they always tell kids, oh, something happens, let an adult know. Nothing's done. And so how defeating is that?
All of these kids touched my heart, to be honest, but one of the ones that really got to me was Clarissa. Even just thinking about it makes me
When she was talking about body image?
Yes, and when she talked about looking in the mirror and just hoping that people accept her, just broke my heart, because what these young girls, the young girls have always, at least in my time, when I was younger,
Well, it was, when I was younger, it was magazines.
Yeah, it was
You're comparing
magazines.
yourself to magazines, and
now
now it's in your face every day.
Yes, and to hear Clarissa, worry about being accepted because she said she doesn't fit society's standards of beauty. It just, to me, it was eye-opening, because so many girls can relate to that.
The entire room was nodding. Yeah.
So many people can relate to that. And like you said, back in the day it was magazines, but now we have social media, which to me takes it to another level, because you have different platforms where these beauty standards are being pushed every day, minute by minute, and it's harder to get away from.
Right. I think hearing some of the stories from these young people might trigger some feelings in our audience, right? And it might be Might be something that they've thought about before, and maybe it just reinforces some things that they're feeling. And I just want people to know that there is always hope and that there's always someone there for you.
Yeah, and that's, one of our teenagers in the summit talked about trying to take her own life at one point and really finding herself and being in that dark place. And it's just so important for people to know that if you're in that dark place, you don't have to be alone. You can talk to someone. That's one of the areas where the 988 helpline is so crucial. It's life-saving. Not it can be, it is life-saving for many people, because some people have no one to talk to.
Or they feel that way. They feel like they don't in that moment. So 988, you're right, 24/7, someone will answer the phone and guide you through and get you to a safe place.
I want to share my story. I want to inspire others, because if it wasn't for others' stories, if it wasn't for hearing about others, I would not be here.
Thank you all for sharing
Yes,
with us today. I'm
thank
really
you.
moved, and I have new hope for the future. I do. After
We're gonna be all right.
Yeah, we're gonna be okay.